Welcome everybody, this is Wargamer Shawn. I'm doing a video today to enter the subscriber contest for dice miniature painting. I'm talking about basing and how you do the base. I'm going to go through my armies and kind of go through some things. I'm going to start with my first army, which was Eldar. And you can see here, actually the first thing I ever did was just paint the base green. And when I first started in Rogue Trader, there are a lot of people that just didn't paint the base. They didn't think that was important. They only thought the model was important. And even GW and some of their like White Dwarfs wouldn't paint the base, so they just leave them black. And then I started adding the grass with glue, and then started adding some rocks and stuff like that. I think that's actually like a wood cork type base. So that's kind of my first step in the Eldars. And then I started doing some more things, so started adding like some static grass and more rocks. And I was never really happy with the Eldar basing, and when they were themed, I started, and I still have some that I haven't converted. I did my Dark Eldar the same way, since I would field them the same way. But then I decided to start doing a different base that was more Eldar-like, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's a resin base, and then I paint the bottom and then add the mud effect, and then brown, and then dry brush gray over it, and then paint the jewels blue. And I did the same thing with my Dark Eldar, so they kind of match, so they can go together. And then I had to find a slightly different base for my Wraith Guard, because they didn't quite have the same company didn't make the same bases, but I did a similar thing. So I'm pretty happy with those. So that's what I did with my Eldar and the progression. Then with the Orcs, I haven't reworked them as much yet, but they were a little bit more advanced because I was doing a little bit more with them at the time. So what I did is I did the Sterling mud effect, and then I added static grass and some rocks. And with the Sterling mud, after it dried, I did like a peroxidy white. It was the old GW colors at the time, and I can't remember what white it was. It might have been white scars, but that's what my orcs are at right now. So that's the orc army. The next one I really worked on, and sorry, there's some more Def Copta with similar. And the next army I kind of worked on, and they haven't really changed a lot yet since 6th edition, is my Tau. The only theme, I theme my bases a lot, and they're far side enclave, so they're fighting orcs. So like every base of every Tau miniature I have is, orc based. I got a little bit more creative with the Storm Surge, added a little bit more detail in cork, but that's pretty much where it's at. I found a basing that I'd like to do to kind of change the base of my Tau. So eventually I want to redo the bases. Just takes a lot of time. The next one is the Chaos Space Marines, and the Chaos. I used to have just the Chaos were all snow, the Chaos Demons, and then the Chaos Space Marines were the mud, like the Orcs, and then dry brush with like a gray and then snow in effects. This is for a Helldrake, so his Bale Flamer is melting the snowman. So you can see poor sad hat there. Poor melted snowman. So that's for, I'll link this up here, but that's for my Helldrake here. So that's that base. And then like I said, I reworked. It used to be all white, but I changed it so it kind of matches my Chaos Space Marines for my demons. So that's my demon base. And then got Typhus here with his base. So they're all similar, so they're all kind of, I like to theme my bases. Next I did my Sisters of Battle, and they're all similar. And what I did with them is I used that Agrax or like the earth, the Tellurian earth that cracks, so it looks like cracked earth. And then I put some bushes and like rocks and stuff with them. So all of the sisters, and I'm gonna rebase all my Imperial Guard, and I'm actually due to Victoria Miniatures, I'm trying to make all of my Imperial Guard all women, so like the planet like recruits and the ones that don't make sisters basically become Imperial Guard. So it's going to be like a similar themed army for them. So that's Sisters of Battle. My Imperial Knights are kind of going, so they go along with the IG and the sisters, but I kind of did extra base work with this guy. So I used pieces of terrain, GW terrain, and then the mud, and then the static grass, and then like I said, these are just pieces of GW terrain to kind of go along with Sir Liam here. So that's him. And then my final ones are, I did my Tyranids. I use kind of a blood effect, and then I use, it's a plastic card you can get that's like, it's for like model houses and railroad sets, but it's like, it's supposed to look like steel, and it's plastic, and then I glue it on there, and then I paint it silver, and then I use normal oil over it so it looks like a dirty steel. Then I kind of add some other like model plastic pieces. It's Old One Eye, the original Old One Eye model before they redid him, so he doesn't have a tail because he didn't have a tail then. And then I got a little bit more creative. This is Doug, the Trigon. He's kind of, I took it and kind of cut it out and took little pieces to kind of cut out, and so he's like exploding out of the earth because he can come via in deep strike under the ground. So Doug can come in out of the ground. And I kept it pretty simple. It's more like, you know, like a city they're invading into. This one is Malin's rope, and so I put cut pieces of that on there, and then added like the sterling mud and stuff to kind of make effects for that. And then my Forge World Habanero. He's my flamer guy, my big flamer guy. He's got pieces inside him to basically kind of make him look like he's still part of the same city group, but his base, it comes with a base, the Forge World base is resonant, it kind of comes with stuff on there, and so I just had to kind of add that in to make it look like it went with the bases. So those are my current, like, I have other armies, but those are my armies I have kind of painted and ready to go. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Oh, sorry. I actually lied to you guys, because I have Tyranids, or sorry, Necrons, and this I use the black sand, and then snow, and then I use the plastic crystals from the GW kits. I had to buy a lot of, because they only come with like a few crystals in each box set. But it's kind of a Freet Dynasty I'm going for there. And then I'll show you the wolves. Those are the last ones. Sorry, I can't believe I forgot the one that I'm working hardest on right now. But my Space Wolves, this is a battle company battle leader. And what I did is I used cork and painted that gray. And then I used the black sand on the bottom, and then I used, they're rocks, but I think it's actually like wood pieces, and then static kind of dead grass, and then I used like a gnome oil over the gray for the corkboard stuff. And so they're basing actually, because I have to allow everything to dry with the PVA glue. Usually takes me 2 or 3 days to do bases, so I kind of do them in batches, because their bases really take a long time to do. They're not quick to do it all. Same thing with the sisters. I have to let that earth stuff dry overnight so it can crack and do the kind of cracked effect. So I have to leave them time to dry. So that's all my bases. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll talk to you guys later. Keep on wargaming and take care.
sexy motherfucker.